Gladden, it's good to be with you. It's always good to be down here at spring training, but it's a little sweeter when it's so snowy back home, right?
Well, I think so. I think that right now you want to be down here in Fort Myers, especially with spring training starting right now. So I think this is the place to be right now.
How much has spring training changed since you were a part of a spring training?
Well, I think what hasn't changed is you still got to catch the ball, hit the ball, and throw the ball. I think that those are the basics to play this game. But I think what's changed is the quality of work that you get in during your practice. I was talking with LaTroy Hawkins earlier today, and we used to be here at 9 o'clock, 9:30, working out. We wouldn't leave the field till 3:30, 4 o'clock. Some long, long days. So I think that they've streamlined it. I think they're getting the better work out of the players right now. And again, the quality work rather than the quantity of work. So I think that has kind of been probably the biggest change in how spring training is ran.
When you look at these athletes, the amount of muscle mass on them is just a little mind blowing. Like they're not getting into shape in spring training. They come ready to go.
Well, we came into camp in pretty good shape, but don't forget we came in and we had 2 weeks to kind of fine tune a few things here. These guys are in camp for 5 days and they're getting ready to start games.
Yeah.
The pitchers are ready to go. They're ready to amp it up. I did go down in the dugout today and I did look and I talked to, again, LaTroy Hawkins, and the size of the guys, in particular the pitchers.
They're huge.
Everybody is just, at least 6'3", 6'4".
Yes.
And, that's kind of a big difference. But then again, I've got a picture in my office that shows Herbeck, Puckett, Bernansky, and Gaetti, and those are pretty big guys too.
Yeah.
And so, I think it's relative that, the era that they're in right now, the way they've drafted players, the way they produce players now, they look for pretty much size.
Right. Yeah, it is interesting to see the size on that pitching mound and the velocity. I mean, the velocity is certainly different.
But then again, you look at Luis Arraez, who was one of the smaller guys, and he won a batting title. So
right.
I think it's all relative. That it comes down to the talent of the player.
Well, that's the question, right? You'll hear scouts say that they can sort of see it in a guy, and then you wonder, right?
Yep, and that's tough. A tough job for a scout, especially trying to scout a high school kid, college kid. College kids, they use aluminum bats. Now you're trying to translate that production in college, if that's going to work at the major league level.
Right. Danny Gladden with us. You have work to do here as well, I see.
Well, there's always work when you're here at the ballpark. If it's not,
people think this is just vacation.
No, but it will be a vacation, probably about an hour when I'll be fishing here a little bit later. So.
Is that what you do for fun when you're down here?
I stay in a community here that has a lot of golf ponds, and it's nice to be able to go out there and throw the line out there. A lot of big bass in some of these places, a lot of alligators. But, I just kind of, live in a nice community. I try to track down John Gordon, longtime broadcaster. He lives a street over. Haven't ran into him yet, but he's usually a guy that can get me out on the golf course as well.
The golf out here is incredible.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I think that, the weather right now and the people that are coming down, there's so many things to do down here in the Fort Myers area. Fishing being one of them, golf, of course, is one, but there's so many other opportunities to go out there and enjoy the sunshine here.
How long are you down here? Do you come here as soon as it gets cold?
Well, I come from Arizona. I come home, say hi to the family, make sure that the snowblower's working and stuff, which they're going to definitely need it right now. But, and then I come down here February 10th every year, and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'd rather be here than in the snow.
Right.
Like I said, I come down here for a good 10 days, 2 weeks prior to the game starting. So, get acclimated here a little bit and just to enjoy the sunshine.
How has winter been on the farm back at home?
Winter's been, it's folded up right now. I know that a lot of the animals out there are kind of hunkering near the farm, the barn, and, looking for any kind of food they can get up there. But the farm is buttoned down right now.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do right there.
Right. But watch the snow pile up.
It definitely does that. But, I'm just glad to be here. Looking forward to spring, though, of course.
How do you feel about this team when you look
Well,
at
you got to like them. You got to like where they're at right now. I think that health-wise, that's always been key. What was the key last year? Twins, I think, spent the first 4 months in first place. Injuries started to mount, and they fell out. But if they can stay healthy, especially on the pitcher side of it, I think that we got a good rotation, deep rotation. And, of course, the defense out there in the outfield, adding Gallo, another Gold Glover,
Yeah.
Buxton. So you got to like the defense, and of course, you've got Correa back. There's so many different storylines with this camp.
It is interesting.
It
right?
is. So I mean,
Yeah.
you could sit down and go in many different directions with this camp this year.
When you look at the injury issue that the Twins had last, it seems like many teams struggle with this. What do you think? Is that the modern athlete? Is that, I don't remember growing up my baseball teams having this kind of widespread injury challenge.
Well, I think that we didn't do a study, but we talked about it, and it was a lot of soft tissue injury, and I'm a believer that you need to run, you need to keep your legs strong, and I think that that's part of the game that has gotten away a little bit from a lot of these athletes is that they don't run enough. In particular, pitchers, and I'm not saying that they don't keep their legs in strength, and working out, but riding a bike and riding a treadmill is completely different than out there pitching for 5 innings. And you notice it when pitchers their legs start to get tired on them. They upright a little bit, delivery, lose velocity, and that's when the injuries kind of can happen.
Yeah, interesting. I hope the fish are biting for you today.
They're always